the other thing I often say to people, and I mean, particularly I think about, you know, 12-step and fellowship meetings, is of course for people to realize that even in except for perhaps some of the more rural areas, but in the locality you're in, there are actually more than one meeting going on, and those meetings actually have different people in them. Sometimes they'll
Yeah.
overlap, and you might go to the first meeting and don't gel with the characters or the individuals in it. You could go to a second meeting and you might just resonate with people, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not all the same, is the other thing I try to explain to people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's really important. And increasingly, there are meetings, um, like women only meetings or LGBT
yes.
meetings or atheist meetings. So, if you're lucky enough to have access to a city, you've got, all of those kinds, that menu of different options, which I think, for a lot of people, especially at certain points in their recovery, perhaps early in recovery, that can be really important to feel that
Mm.
you are with like-minded people rather than people who are very different. Um, Whereas I think the longer you're in recovery, you realize, kind of similarities with people who you might think you're very different to. Um, so I love women only meetings because I identify as a woman, but and I get something very special from those meetings, but I'm also comfortable in kind of more plural meetings. So, um, but I can see why it might be absolutely necessary, depending on her particular experience, um, for somebody to go to a woman only meeting. If she's experienced male violence, for example,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then the idea that you would go to a meeting and start getting honest in a meeting, start trusting people, that's a very, very big ask.
It's a very
Um,
big ask, and particularly
mm,
when, it's not unreasonable to assume that one of the men in your room is actually also recovering not only from their drug and alcohol use, but their previous unacceptable behavior as well, of course.
totally. Yeah, totally,
You know,
totally. That wouldn't be at
and
all
you're
surprising, would
it
it?
wouldn't, would it? No, it wouldn't be at all.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Of course it wouldn't. No,
Mm.
no, no, absolutely.